So we're going to look at 1-9 right now, which is page 12. And it says, okay, look at this multiple choice. Now for me to make these, this is choice 1, 2, and that's a little 3. So that's just to help you with the answers. It says, let G be a function. It's increasing when my X values are less than 1. Okay. Okay, this is the big thing. The limit as X approaches 1 is 5. Which of the following could represent G? Which of the following could represent G? To me personally, this would be the easiest one to look at first of all. Do you think option 3 is the limit as X approaches 1, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the limit's coming together at that 5. Beck, were you just hesitating because you're like, ooh, but my function doesn't exist there? Yeah, I hear you. But my limit exists. So are we feeling good about 3? I'm vibing 3. So I'm going to get rid of that. I wonder why 2, we don't even have to worry about it. Why do we think as X approaches 1, my X's are approaching 1, do you agree that my limit is not looking like it's 5? This is going up to 5,000. This is going down to negative 5,000. So what would you say the limit is as X approaches 1 of this table? Doesn't exist, because from the left of 1 it's going up, and from the right of 1 is going down exponentially. So we've got a what at 1? We got a vertical asymptote there, okay? But what are they trying to do to confuse you? It has the point 1, 5, which is confusing, but limits aren't what happens at the point. Limits are what happens as we approach that point. A capiche? Okay, let's go take a peek at 1. At 1, the value's 3. Do we care about that? At 1, it's got the 0.3. We don't care because they're asking about a limit. So they're asking everywhere else. This function exists for the whole thing except when X is 1. And you're like, well, that's okay. I don't care what happens at 1. What happens if I plug in 1 right there? What would it start with? 1 plus 3 is 4 minus 4? 0 over 0. We got to take it further. We don't just say it doesn't exist. We got to take it further. What does that top factor into? What multiplies to be negative 4 and adds to be 3? 4 and negative 1. We agree with that? 4 and negative 1? Ooh, and why do I like that, EJ? What's the bottom? Yeah, Ev, what I love about it is that is going to cancel out. And when I go and I evaluate that same limit as X approaches 1, and I plug that in, what do we get? 5. Is that what we wanted? Yeah. So what would my answer be? D. This one says the graph of G is shown. And again, I kind of move these around so that I don't have to use as many papers to print these. Which of the following could be a table for this graph? What point does this table must have? What point? What'd you say? 4, 1, you're saying? This point right here is 4, 1. So when X is 4, my Y has to be 1. What do we feel like? Which ones are we keeping? Which ones are we getting rid of? Keep C and D, I agree. A and B, you gone. Now, as I approach 4 from the left side, that means I'm from the left side of 4. So when I'm coming in from the left, 3.9, 3.99, these match. So I guess we only need to look at from the right side, correct? As I come in from the right side, my Y values here are 2.183, 2.162, and these are in the ones. What do we think? As I'm coming in from the right side, what do you think those Y values would be? Above 2. I couldn't have said it better, Ev. What do we think our answer is? Beautiful. I think this one's a little misleading. On my notes and on your AP stuff, if I were you, I would like circle, highlight. This is what they're asking. It says H has a limit as X approaches 3 that doesn't exist. The limit in this case cannot exist. Which of these 3 represent that when X approaches 3? The middle. Do you mean here? What are we looking at? So let's start with the graph. As X approaches 3, does that limit exist? No. So do we want that? Is that an answer? Yeah, which I think is a little misleading, right? So 3, the limit does not exist. I think 3 is a good one. How about option 2? As x approaches 3, do you think that my limit does not exist? Correct. Was that you, Rowie? Love it. Rowan, you agree that my y's here are 3.9, then I jump to a 7. I literally have a jump discontinuity there. I agree. I'm not digging 2 either. 2 does not exist. Ooh. So do you think the answer has to be D? Let's double check. I agree, has to be D. Let's just double check why it's not 1. At 3, does it matter that the point doesn't exist? Doesn't matter. Do we need to approach 3 from the left and from the right? Yes. So we'd plug a 3 in to the top one and the bottom one. What would I get when I plug in 3 right here? 7. What about on the bottom one? 7. So from the left and the right of 3, my fingers would come together at 3, even though there would be a blank at 3. Hole. The limit would still exist, though. So we dig in D. I got B. Jay, bro, you down with B? You lonely back there without Curfy? Yeah. Here we go. Are we good with B on that one? Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys, the last thing we're going to talk, maybe. Okay, we got to get into discontinuities. This is where our brains get a little kerfuffled, okay? Because discontinuities you talked about back in algebra. If a graph is discontinuous, is this graph discontinuous? Did I have to lift my pencil to draw that? Yeah, that's a hole, okay? Anything with a hole is discontinuous. So let me give you some examples and give you some terminology that AP likes to use. It says, given the following scenarios, which of the following could be the graph of F? It's saying F has a removable discontinuity. You guys, that's just a fancy word for hole. So go ahead and let yourself know removable discontinuity just means a hole. But AP will use both terms. They'll let you know it's a hole, or they'll say removable discontinuity. Which of these pictures, A, B, C, or D, has a hole? D.
But if you remove the hole, wouldn't that then have 2 values for 5, making it not functional?
Right, so do you agree this only has one x value? Like f of 5 would be whatever this value is. You're right, we could never exist, this graph could not exist because it's not a function. It wouldn't pass the vertical line test. That's why they didn't color it in. So a removable discontinuity will always have a hole, open space. Right. Sound good? You guys, does this limit exist? Yeah, right? The limit exists as x approaches 5, even though it's discontinuous. Word? Word. Okay. How about this one? Give me an example of the limit as a, oh wait, real fast. If this is a removable discontinuity, this is a little basic. What kind of discontinuity are these 3? They're called non-removable discontinuity. DISC is a fine abbreviation if you don't want to write discontinuity. Non-removable. What are 3 types of non-removable discontinuities? We actually talked about these in pre-calc. Anyone remember what kind of discontinuity would be if you've got a vertical asymptote? It's going to infinity, so it's called infinite discontinuity. Infinite discontinuity. B and C are called the same thing. Jump. We got to go from here, and then I literally jump to then go graph it. These are both called jump discontinuity. They are fine with you calling them any of these versions, but in a word problem, they might refer to these as non-removable discontinuities just so that you know, oh, that means a jump or an infinite discontinuity. Cool, cool, cool? Okay. This one says, hey, circle me which one the limit exists on. Does the limit exist on A, B, C, or D? Only D, even though it's discontinuous. Okay, last one. It says, hey, as I approach 5 from the left side and 5 from the right side, the limits and the function are distinctly different numbers. Say it, DJ, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking B.
You're thinking B, because when it says the limit as x approaches 5 from the negative side, do you agree of it's going to be whatever this is? And we could even make that up. We could say that's 4. So you could even say, all right, if that's 4, as I approach from the right side, Ev, what do you want to say that one equals as I approach 5 from the right side? 2, that sounds great. And then what about f of 5? What do we want to say that one is, bud? He says, I'm going to say that that's 5. We just made that up. That's fine. Are those all distinctly different numbers? They sure are. I think B is a great choice, sir. Can we talk about discontinuities if I'm not given a graph? Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Let's remind ourselves. It says, which of the following is true? It wants to know what's going on. And we talked about these a lot in pre-calc. Like, how would I know if I have a removable discontinuity? And maybe we remind ourselves, what kind of discontinuity is that? This is just a hole. How do I get a vertical asymptote? These are our little reminders. The denominator or the bottom is 0. Perfect. Well, you guys, there's a lot going on up here. We don't get a calculator. Can we factor this? Yeah, let's go factor it. What does the top have in common? The first thing we always do is take out a GFF. X squared. Let's take an x squared out. Therefore, I would have x squared. What's left? 3x plus 2. Word. What does the bottom factor out to be? Take an x out? Love it. What's left? X minus 1. Love it. Okay. Let's remind ourselves how we find, let's first remind ourselves how you find a hole. Do you remember algebraically what a hole comes from? If the numerator and denominator have the same factor. So I'm going to actually just do a little side lesson real fast. To have a hole, if I factored something to be x plus 2, x minus 5 over x minus 5, I would have a hole at 5 because the top and the bottom have the same factor. When do they equal 0? It'd be at 5. I would then have no vertical asymptote because that hole would cancel out. What's my denominator now? Is 1 ever going to equal 0? No. Okay, back up. Ready? What if I gave you this? X plus 4, x minus 2, x plus 4, x plus 3. Where is the hole? There's a hole at -4. Removable discontinuity at -4. Where is there a vertical asymptote? Where does the denominator equal 0? -3. You guys down with that? That's my little reminder. So with that little reminder, I'm going to zoom this out so we can see it while we're looking at this guy. You guys, do we have a hole? Do they both have a common factor? They both have an x, Roni. They both have an x. I get that it's not like an x minus 5, but don't they both have an x? And when would that equal 0? At 0, right? When x is 0. So we're going to say we've got a hole at x is 0. And therefore, I'd cancel one of these out. This x would cancel out with that x. Do I have a vertical asymptote? At 1. Vertical asymptote at 1. Do any of these answers support our findings? Removable discontinuity is a hole at 0, you're saying, and a vertical asymptote at 1. Bless you. We did it. You're welcome. This is a gift. AP will ask you this. This would be an AP question. They're checking, do you know what removable discontinuity is? That's when you just give yourself a little reminder, that's a hole. Where, on what x value, do we have a hole?
5.
At 5, actually, that's a jump discontinuity. That'd be non-removable. I hear at 7 we have a hole. I agree. And? Yeah. You down with that, EJ? Yeah. Oh. He's saying, let's factor out next. I dig that. If I factor out next from the top, what's left?
X squared minus 2x minus 3.
Yeah? Oh, you guys, this is so funny. I had to change the formatting on this for a reason. I'll get it to in a second. Is anyone struggle busting with what to factor on that guy? Because as I was doing this problem, I was like, and then I saw this. Guys, we get to use a calculator on this, okay? We have to, because we can't factor that with our tutor OToot. So, everybody, go get your calculator. So we looked on our calculator, we graphed our original function. You agree our graph looks a little something like, hold on, let's take a peek. Looks a little something like this. Yeah? Very sloppy? Okay. And we're saying there's a vertical asymptote at 2. Come on, little pen. Okay, so I'm digging C and D, right? Is it continuous? So we're going to use these questions to help us. Is it continuous at -1, or does it have a removable discontinuity? Removable discontinuity just means whole. And if you didn't do Zoom 4, or if your calculator looks like mine, you don't see that hole. So I want everybody, again, hit trace, -1, enter. What does it give you for a y value if your x is -1? It's blank because there's a hole there, right? It says y equals not 0. It's just blank, right? That's how we know there's a removable discontinuity there. If it said y equals 5, y equals any number, then it'd be continuous. Razzle dazzle? Okay, so if I were you, I'd use these remaining, I'm giving you so much time, 9 minutes to work on anything from 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 1.10 in your homework packet. You might not have gotten through 1.8 yesterday. Oh, maybe we should practice one of those actually.